Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for Northern Ag TV. Well, what a year 2025 turned into for farmers. Many areas across the state battling drought and just couldn't get the moisture at the right time. I spoke with Erik Sommerfeld, who farms near Power, and asked him to characterize the growing season in Montana's Golden Triangle.
It started out really dry. Our hay crops, especially the dryland ones, did not take off very fast. The snowpack up on the front wasn't very high, so there was already talk of rationing. Even before the water was turned out, there was talk irrigation water is going to get rationed. And we went through a very dry April, May, June. Beginning of July, we got just a little bit of rain that gave guys some hope that, hey, we might get some malt barley on our dryland crops. And then the rest of July was dry.
Well, the moisture did finally show up, but it still didn't do many favors for the crop.
Beginning August, everybody's cutting winter wheat. It starts pouring and pouring and pouring. There's a lot of low quality feed wheat. A lot of that winter wheat got hit, and the falling numbers are just gone. At the same time, what we thought was going to be an average malt barley crop suddenly got sprout and took the wind out of our sails. It started causing the chickpeas to regrow and start growing again. Those ripe ones started shelling out in our north central Montana winds that we get, and they had green underneath. We did go into fall seeding with pretty okay moisture, and at least in the southern part of the triangle where I'm at.
So is there a market for that feed quality grain? In past years, we had seen demand from feed yards in Canada.
Guys are kind of stuck a little bit with the tariffs that are going on. Last year, there was a lot of feed barley that happened. Same situation, it rained during harvest and wrecked a lot of malt barley and turned it into feed barley. Last year, we had the Canadian feedlots that you could call them up and they'd send trucks down and they hauled it away. This year, they're not really interested. With the tariffs going on, they're going to use every bushel that they can out of their own backyard, and then we're going to be the supplier of last choice.
We'll talk more about the position farmers are in after a word from our sponsor.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Well, the production challenges for Montana's farmers on top of the current grain market and soaring input costs have put growers in a tough spot. Spoke with Erik Sommerfeld, the Vice President of Montana Farmers Union, and he said it's unclear whether an economic aid package will actually come from Congress this year.
The price is down, but it's not, catastrophically down. The problem is on the input side. Our inputs are so much higher than they were before, especially on the fertilizer end. And it's just killing guys. And we'd like to see one, but I hear talk about soybeans, but I'm not hearing a lot of talk about wheat or barley in those things. So maybe there's going to be a bailout for soybean guys, but I really haven't heard a lot of talk about wheat and barley guys or even pulse guys in our country. So we'll just have to wait and see.
In wrapping up, I asked Erik about the policy priorities of Montana Farmers Union members.
We're way past time to get a farm bill. That's probably the number one thing is farm bill. And then after that is probably tariffs and dealing with all of the fallout that's going on with that. Locally, these AI data centers, I've had 4 or 5 different people from all over the state talk to me as vice president and say, hey, we've got to do something about these things. They're worried about their cost of electricity going way up, seeing how that's happened where these other ones have gone. And then Montana being a really dry state, where's all the water going to come from to cool these things? And whose water right is it going to be that takes care of it?
Well, that's going to do it for today's Northern Ag TV. Have a good one.